Welcome to the Let Your Heart with Hope podcast. I'm Erin, and I'm so thankful you're here. We have come to the end of season 3, and so I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about the main takeaways from each episode. First, I want to thank all of you who have listened to season 3. I hope and pray that you've been encouraged and that you've found hope in the midst of your own story. If you're listening and you have yet to listen to season 3, I hope this gives you a glimpse into what we share, and I want to encourage you to go back and listen. I also want to thank our guests. Thank you for being willing and courageous enough to share your story. They encouraged me and my faith in Christ, and I know they encouraged those who listened. Also, thank you to my mom for continuing to join me every week to share our immeasurably more mini messages. And I want to especially thank you for sharing your mental health story. You were brave to vulnerably share what you've walked through, and your bravery gave me courage to share my own story too. If you haven't listened to our Mental Health Awareness Month episodes, not only do we share our stories, but also practical tools that have helped us in our mental health journey. And to give you a little preview, we will be sharing more about mental health in the future. But today's episode is going to be a short recap of season 3. I want to share some of the takeaways that I personally gained through listening to each episode. Number 1, there is a greater purpose in your pain. God's purpose for your life is not altered because of your pain. Your pain may be the very thing that He is using to bring about the greatest purpose for your life. No pain can change God's plan. No brokenness can change His ability to bring breakthrough. No mistake can change His abounding mercy. Your suffering cannot change the saving grace of Jesus. He will not leave you in your suffering. He has a greater purpose in your pain. Number 2, find your people. God doesn't intend for us to walk through life alone. His plan is not for you to bear your burdens on your own. People may walk away, but God never will. He will bring the people into your life that are meant to be there for such a time as this. Don't cling to those who walk away. Cling to Christ. Number 3, choose joy. Even when life is a battlefield, we can choose to trust in the God who can turn our brokenness into something beautiful. Life is short. How are you going to choose to live? Number 4, God is writing your story. God provides in your pain. He gives strength to sustain you, peace in the chaos, grace for your mistakes, rest for your weary soul. God provides life for today and hope for tomorrow. He is writing your story. Not a chapter is missing. Number 5, God is in your story. Not only did God write your story, but He is in your story. He is in every moment, past, present, and future. Every part of your story matters to God. And no matter how messy or broken your story may seem, it truly is beautiful because it's wrapped up in God's greater story. Number 6, God's hand is in your plans. Life doesn't always go the way we hoped and dreamed it would. But we can trust that in God's grace, love, and faithfulness, His plans for our lives are always greater, immeasurably more than we could imagine. Number 7, joy is within you. Joy isn't the absence of pain, and joy isn't the presence of perfection. Joy is found within. It's found when broken things can be seen as beautiful and when purpose is found in pain. Number 8, God is present in your pain. Sometimes the presence of pain can seem to overshadow the presence of God, but the presence of pain does not point to God's absence. Sometimes it's in our deepest seasons of pain where we find that He is ever so close to us. He is near to the brokenhearted. Maybe your pain is actually pointing you to God's presence. I also want to share some of what we talked about during Mental Health Awareness Month. One of the main reasons we wanted to talk about this topic was in order to be a part of breaking the stigma surrounding mental health. So many people, including my mom and I, have their own mental health journeys. Although it was really hard to share what we've walked through, it was absolutely worth it. I believe that when we share our stories, it helps others feel the freedom to share their own story. Through the episodes we shared, we talk about the importance of talking about mental health. Tools that we have found help us in caring for our own mental health, and truths to anchor you in healing. We also share our own personal stories, what we've been through, what God has walked us through, and where we are today. If you or someone you love struggles with mental health, I hope you will go back and listen to the episodes we shared. My prayer is that you will be encouraged and find that there is hope for you too. You're not alone, and your suffering, anxiety, depression, grief, no matter what your story looks like, you're not the only one. There are so many more takeaways that I could share with you, but I hope that you will go back and listen to these episodes or that you will listen to them for the first time. I hope that they encourage you to share your own story because your story, no matter what it looks like, is meant to be shared. God can use your story to impact the lives of so many people. I also want to encourage you to listen to the Immeasurably More mini messages that my mom and I share every week. They expand on each episode, and I believe that God is doing immeasurably more through the stories we share and what God reveals to us through them. Over the next month, we will be re-releasing some of our favorite special messages from the first 3 seasons of this podcast. Then I hope you will join us for season 4. We will be talking about mental health, our faith, the hope we found in Christ, and so much more. And stay tuned for some special guests. Thank you for being here. I believe that God can do immeasurably more through the stories that we share. You matter. Your life matters. And your story can make an impact that matters for eternity. Make a difference today for someone who is fighting for their tomorrow.